Boys and girls, there's a lot of rich content vocabulary in Chapter 3, so we want to make sure that we are ready for it. We're going to start with the vocabulary builder at the top of the page. So we are going to visualize it. Use the check mark words to complete the tree map. So boys and girls, it's really important that we check through the review words and the preview words and make sure that we're only using words that have a check mark by them to complete our tree map. So let's go down our line and let's see what we have here. Benchmark, hundredth, place value, round, tenth. Also in the preview words, boys and girls, we have thousandth. So those are the only words that we're going to be using to complete our tree map. And if you noticed, a tree map kind of looks like a family tree. It's very similar, but it's talking about mathematical terms that are related. So first up here, boys and girls, we have estimation. So boys and girls, we are only going to use the words that had check marks by it. And as you can see, that benchmark is the first word that we're going to fill in for our tree map. And you'll notice again that a tree map is very similar to a family tree. So under estimation, we have benchmark. We also have on the other side, round. So we are going to take that word round and put it underneath estimation. Now, in order to round numbers, boys and girls, we have to use place value. So place value would be in the next box. Now, boys and girls, with place value, we can visualize the chart that's in our classroom. The smallest term in the place value chart would be thousandths, because thousandths only represents 1 out of 1,000. And I'm just going to put this there in extra for parentheses to kind of build the knowledge for us. Next, boys and girls, we have hundredths. And if we think about it, hundredths is a little bit larger than a thousandth because it is 1 out of 100. And we know that a coin that we use a lot in our life is called a penny, and a penny represents 1/100th of a dollar. And then finally, boys and girls, we have a tenth. So the term tenth, I'm actually going to erase the S on the thousandth and the S on the hundredth. Tenth represents 1 out of 10, and we know that another coin that we use a lot in our lives is a dime. So a dime represents 1/10th of a dollar, a penny represents 1/100th of a dollar, and a thousandth is so small, boys and girls, it doesn't even get a coin, so it represents 1/1000th of a dollar. So now, boys and girls, we're going to go to the understand vocabulary. Read the description. Which word do you think is described? It's going to be really important, boys and girls, that after you complete this vocabulary activity, you make note cards. On one side of the note card, you want to make sure you write the vocabulary term, and on the other side, you are going to write the definition. So let's start here. Number 1. 1 of 100 equal parts is a hundredth. 2. The value of each digit in the number based on the location of the digit is place value. 3. To replace a number with one that is simpler and is approximately the same size as the original number is to round. 4. And an ordered set of numbers is a sequence. In our calendar, boys and girls, in the back of our classroom is an example of a sequence. It's a numerical sequence that starts from a small number and goes to a larger number. 5. 1 of 10 equal parts would be a tenth. 6. A familiar number that is used as a point of reference is a benchmark. 7. 1 of 1,000 equal parts is a thousandth. Remember, boys and girls, that number is so small, we don't even have a coin to represent it in our money. Remember, a tenth is represented of a dime, and a hundredth represents a penny. And notice, I basically wrote on the side the money equivalent and then the fraction equivalent of this word, the fraction equivalent of this word, the money, and the fraction equivalent of that word. Now the last one we have here, boys, is 8. Each of the numbers in a sequence is called a term. So now, boys and girls, that we've done the understanding vocabulary, I want to make sure that you take the time to write note cards. You should be studying those note cards every single night because remember, next week we have our mid-chapter checkpoint quiz and we want to make sure we really understand the vocabulary terminology for Chapter 3 so we can be as successful as possible.